we talked a little bit about Taker. You were his first manager, and you were there for a little bit. What was the plan for you to be a short-term thing, just to introduce him and then to move on to Paul Bearer, or what happened there to do that change in managers?
I worked behind the scenes, and I was in the studio producing the television shows at that time. And I was given a choice that here's the deal. Undertaker, we debuted him. It was my idea to manage him. I brought him in. I did this whole thing about how I wanted to bring him in, who I wanted him to be, and I wanted to manage him. I saw it as a television character. The Undertaker as an attraction became such a strong attraction in house shows that Vince felt him going out alone in house shows, they're only getting half of the package if I'm not there. Mm-hmm. So he said, you need to decide. You're either going to be a talent and manage the Undertaker, and that means you're going to be on the road, traveling, making all the same dates he does, or you can be back in the studio and do your television duties. I chose to stay back in the studio and do my television duties. Paul Bearer, Percy Pringle, and it also happened coincidentally all at the same time as well. Bill Moody, who is Percy Pringle, who is Paul Bearer, came in for a job interview. And in the middle of it, they said, "What do you do?" Because he wasn't active in wrestling at the time. So what are you doing? He says, "Well, I'm a mortician by trade. I always keep my mortician's license active." And everybody started laughing. Oh my God. He'd be perfect for the Undertaker, because now we got to think, how do you replace me?
Right.
And here you've got a mortician. In addition to that, you've got the first manager of Mean Mark, or the Punisher, whatever the hell he was. And it was perfect. It just you couldn't write that.
Right. And
it worked out really well.
And his mannerisms are, iconic. Was that stuff like ideas that you guys had that you gave to him, or did he just kind of come up with all that?
In the early, that a lot of that was me. Yeah, just kind of when I would do him, whenever I would do characters, and that's what people talk about. Oh, you do imitations. I don't do imitations. I do caricatures. So, but when you are the beautiful thing about being a producer is versus being a talent yourself. As a producer, you got to be everybody. So I can be Paul Bearer, and I can be Hulk Hogan, and I can be Roddy Piper when I'm producing all of them. And so as I'm trying to tell Paul what I want from him, and it's, "Oh yes, my Undertaker." And I said, "You've really got to get me into this." And I said, "Pet that urn, man, because whatever the hell is in there is really important to you." And I would do all this stuff for him, but I would always do them in character. So let me tell you something, brother. And it's not a dead-on imitation. It's me just doing them for them, so they can get some idea of what it is that we're looking for. I remember going and doing a vignette with Mick Foley and Paul Bearer in a cemetery, and we had dug a hole. And at one point, I'm on the ground and I'm crawling, and I'm showing Mick. I said, "You get down here." And Mick says, "Wouldn't it be great if I took a bump into the hole?" And so Mick gets down in the hole to see how he fits. And when he gets in there, it just fits him perfectly. And I said, "Oh my God, Mick," I said, "when you're down there," I said, "I want you to take that bump and then look up and feel around and just look up and go, 'Uncle Paul, it's too short for the Undertaker. I think it's for me.'" And it's just that realization. But give me a minute. Let me feel you in that hole. But I did that because I'm like down on the ground, and then Mick is down on the ground with me, and we're crawling. And then he goes, "What if I took a bump?" And that just, you just kind of, you get into character.